Hey, settle in for a second. Tonight, we're not just talking history, we're living it. Imagine this, a world so cold, so mercilessly indifferent to your comfort that your first breath stings like betrayal. You've heard about Viking toughness, the beards, the axes, the longboats slicing through stormy seas. But none of that, absolutely none of it, compares to this. They survived Arctic winters without fireplaces. Let that sink in while you're sitting there wrapped in your blanket, sipping something warm. Go ahead, feel that small shiver, because where we're headed, warmth isn't comfort, it's survival. Now, before we begin this little journey, take a second to like the video if you actually enjoy stepping into history like this. And tell me, where are you watching from, and what time is it? I'm curious who else is awake under the same sky, maybe feeling that same imaginary chill. Okay, dim the lights, let your room fall quiet, except for the soft hum of a fan. That'll be our winter wind. Take a deep breath and picture yourself stepping out of a time machine. When the light fades, you're standing knee-deep in snow somewhere near the Arctic Circle. The year? Sometime in the 9th century. The air bites. The sky is the color of dull iron. The horizon feels endless, a world stripped of comfort and color. You pull your cloak tighter, but the wind doesn't care. It slices through everything. You see a cluster of low, long buildings half buried in snow, smoke leaking lazily from their roofs. Not chimneys, just small slits, like the houses themselves are sighing. You start walking toward them. Each step crunches. The cold feels alive, pressing into your bones. This is no scene of conquest, no raids, no battles, no sails on the sea. This is the other Viking story, the one about endurance. You reach one of the longhouses. The door is so low you have to crouch to enter. Inside, it's dark and smoky. Your eyes take a moment to adjust. There's a weak fire smoldering in a shallow pit, barely glowing. It's not trying to heat the house, just the soup. The air tastes of wet wool, sweat, and old wood smoke. You cough. Someone laughs quietly in the dark. As your sight adjusts, you realize the house stretches far, lined with wooden platforms covered in hides and furs. Dozens of people lie wrapped together, pressed shoulder to shoulder like hibernating animals. A dog lifts its head. Somewhere a chicken clucks. You think you see a goat, hopefully. You crouch beside the fire, trying to warm your hands. The heat barely reaches you. A gray-bearded man looks up, eyes bright in the flicker of the coals. He grunts and slides you a wooden cup of something steaming and sour. You drink, and it burns its way down, part heat, part courage. He doesn't say much, just nods, as if to say, "Now you understand." You glance around. There's no chimney, no roaring hearth like the ones you've seen in movies. The smoke simply hangs in the air, drifting lazily toward a hole in the roof. You ask why there's no fireplace, and the man, let's call him Haler, frowns like you've asked why water is wet. See, for Vikings, warmth wasn't about chasing heat, it was about not losing it. Their homes weren't designed to be cozy, they were designed to trap every breath of warmth nature gave them. The walls were thick, layers of wood, mud, turf, and moss pressed so tightly together they breathed like living insulation. Each house was more like a thermos than a home, built to hold in the collective heat of its people, animals, and small fire. You begin to notice the rhythm of this world. Nobody moves fast. Every motion is measured, deliberate. No one wastes energy, not a word, not a gesture, not a breath. Survival here isn't just physical, it's spiritual. Every day is a small act of endurance. Outside, the light fades early. The world turns the color of steel. The wind starts again, a long, low howl that rattles the walls but doesn't reach inside. You step to the doorway and look out. The snow glows faintly blue in the half-light. The horizon disappears into a white silence, so deep it feels like the edge of existence itself. You realize something strange. It's beautiful, terrifyingly so. This frozen place has its own rhythm, its own dignity. It doesn't care if you're strong or weak, rich or poor. You either adapt or you vanish. Behind you, someone begins to hum, low and steady. It's not a song, not really, more like a heartbeat. One person hums, then another joins in until the longhouse fills with a sound like warmth made audible. They're not just keeping out the cold, they're reminding themselves they're still alive. And in that moment, you understand. The Vikings didn't survive because they were brutal, they survived because they belonged here. Their strength wasn't just muscle or willpower, it was harmony with a world that wanted to erase them. You turn back toward the fire. It's still small, still sulking, but now you see it differently. It's not weak, it's steady. It's a symbol of balance. Just enough light to cook, just enough warmth to share, just enough life to keep the night at bay. As you sit, you feel the walls close in, not in a suffocating way, but in a safe one. You're no longer an outsider looking in. You're part of this fragile warmth, this quiet defiance against the cold. Outside, the Arctic night stretches forever. Inside, the fire pit glows faintly, and the hum continues, soft, rhythmic, human. And in that moment, you stop thinking about fireplaces, blankets, or heaters. You just breathe, slow, smoky air filling your lungs, and realize sometimes survival isn't about finding comfort, it's about finding peace inside the discomfort.